Welcome to Tammy Nation. Let's go.
I've been running from 9 to 5, been biting my tongue for all this time. Won't let anyone cut me short. I was thinking this was the way to go, and you put up your puppet show. I say cheers to life. No, I'll be no good man's wife. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go home.
Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Tammy Nation. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday, Kim. It's good to see you. You caught another live. That's awesome. Good evening. Good evening. I thought I would come on, give another show regarding what happened in the house today, along with some other things that I've been looking at today. We got to get our weekend off to a good start. I promise we'll end it on a good note because there's some good news out there as well. It's heading into the weekend. If you haven't heard, Jim Jordan is out as the next speaker. They did a secret vote. I will go into that into detail. And they are in recess and closed until Monday evening, I believe it is. But we'll get to all that. Anyhow, I hope everybody's having a great Friday so far. If you're just getting off work, that's awesome. It is 5 o'clock here in Georgia, and I know it's only 3 o'clock on the West Coast. So it depends on where you're at, what time it is. You might have a little longer. You got to work. But I thought I'd go ahead and get this under my belt early. The thing is, it's really important for us to get together and talk about the things going on. And I got together with a group of people the other night, and we talked about all the shenanigans going on in government. And it was really great because it was not an echo chamber. It was a group of different thinking males and females, just sharing concerns and talking. And it was so refreshing and so good because nobody wants to be in an echo chamber. We want to be able to say what we think is going on and how we can help each other, maybe direct each other in different places to find information, and just to try to keep sanity. And you don't even have to talk politics all the time or what's going on all the time. Just to be able to laugh and have a good time amongst friends or new acquaintances is really good. It's a way to disengage. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a chance to do that this weekend, maybe hang out with some friends or new friends and just have a good time and take a nice deep breath, because we made it through another week. Yeah, we don't have a Speaker of the House yet. Yeah, it seems like the world is on fire, and literally it is in places, but we made it through another week and we deserve the break. So getting into this, let's start with President Biden's speech last night. I did watch that painstakingly so, and really it was nothing more, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, other than the pressure to keep the funding going for the wars, the endless wars that they all love, from both sides. There's no end game in sight that he laid out. There was no game plan laid out. Basically, he said the only plan that I saw was the U.S. to keep giving everybody unlimited amounts of money and financial support. He said we cannot walk away, and that comes to Ukraine and Israel. And isn't that hypocritical for both as far as that goes? So basically, what he's been doing and this administration has been giving Ukraine endless amounts of money with no plan, no end game, nothing. We know that Ukraine is corrupt. There's no accountability for what they are doing or have done with their dollars. Basically, we just keep supplying them with dollars with no accountability. We are not getting any promises, nothing signed in return. We get nothing back for it. We're just funneling tons and tons of money over there. together. And also in this omnibus bill, that seems to be, you guys, and I'll get into detail why, seems to be the big hang up in the House and why they're not being able to choose a speaker, because of the ties that these people have to these omnibus bills that actually are laid out ahead of time. And I will get to that. Kash Patel had a great conversation today with Steve Bannon on War Room about this. He's been talking about this on his channel as well. So like I said, when we go around and we try to find out the information that we can garner in different places, we have a new found intelligence of what's going on behind the scenes, instead of just saying, gosh, why can't they pick a speaker? Gosh, why is it so hard? It really isn't that hard unless you have strings attached to finances and deals and bills that are set out in place ahead of time, and different promises that these representatives make ahead of time that we aren't aware of. And that's Kash Patel's big talk that he had the last day or so on his show in Bannon's War Room, is there's a lot that goes on that we don't know, and he wanted to make us aware of it to help us understand more of the process and what is actually going on in the House. So once again, getting back to Biden before I get too far ahead of myself, basically, Biden said that we are fighting for democracy. However, we are well aware that Ukraine is not a democracy. I don't even think they vote anymore. We've got a $60 million more promise coming down in the omnibus bill that some of these representatives were foaming at the mouth to be able to get signed and taken care of, picking a House speaker and getting this done, but they didn't nail that at all. Obviously, they didn't pick a speaker either. So as we started this morning, last night, there was a lot of excitement because it came out late. I think it was about 10 o'clock, 10:30 my time, that Jim Jordan was going to hold a press conference this morning, and it was going to be a big deal. Marjorie Taylor Greene said, this is huge. This is going to be huge. So, of course, I got excited about it, right? He's doing a press conference. Marjorie Taylor Greene said it's going to be huge. So I thought, this is going to be great. Something's going to come to fruition here. Can't wait to see what it is. Hey, Chris Gilbert, good to see you. However, the presser to me was a big nothing burger. There was no meat and potatoes to it whatsoever. It was basically everything that we had been saying, and we all know all along that yes, we need a House Speaker. Yes, we need to unify. Yes, and he gave this story at the beginning of his speech that, some people can say, you know what, Tammy, there's hidden meaning behind that speech that he gave, about touring the things that him and his wife did. Fine, you can think that. I'm saying at a time like this, I don't want to try to pick away or put together puzzles, right? When you have this going on, it's going to be 20 days by the time they get back in the House that this is going on. We don't have a House Speaker, and we have the first presser from Jim Jordan. I expected to have a lot of meat and potatoes and clarification and explanation in it. And to me, it was a big letdown. There was nothing big to it. And now we know that he's not even speaker anymore. He's not in the run for it. He's out. And I thought, my gosh, why did they have a presser? What was the importance of that presser? And Marjorie Taylor Greene, what was the point of her saying it was going to be huge? Is there something that I'm missing? You guys can tell me in chat if you think there's something I missed, but I'm not so sure that I did miss anything. So what happened today was they before I get to that, Kevin McCarthy also nominated Jim Jordan on the House floor today. And if you pay attention to his speech, it really wasn't a concession speech for McCarthy. And it really, to me, wasn't a great endorsement for Jim Jordan. Basically, to me, it was a speech McCarthy gave about, look at me, McCarthy, and look at what's happening. You could still have me as speaker, but that's not what's going on. But look what's going on. You kicked me out. Look how great I am. Look at how I can go ahead and promote Jim Jordan now. Don't you wish you had me back? That's my opinion. That's the expressed opinion of a few others as well. I don't know what you guys thought about it, but I just found that pretty interesting. I just think that it could have went a little better. And I think actually McCarthy could have actually said, those of you that are voting for me, please take your vote and turn it to Jim Jordan. We need to get this together and get this done. And let's do this instead of talking about Jim Jordan and his wrestling days and this and that. It was really, really something. What did I miss, Tracy? Let me know. Go ahead and put it in chat, and I'm more than willing to figure out what I missed. You let me know. Yeah, we are all getting played. Yeah, right? Exactly. So this is very frustrating at this point. Like I said, it's going to be 20 days in come Monday that we don't have a speaker, right? So then Matt Gaetz came out today and stated that McCarthy is really to try what he's trying to do is hang on to power. That McCarthy hasn't vacated the speaker's office. He said it's been 17 days. He actually said that yesterday when it was 16 days, but today's 17 days. And I haven't heard that McCarthy has vacated the speaker's office either. But he said, and he agreed with what we've been saying, or at least I've been saying, and other people. Why isn't McCarthy saying, all of you that are voting for me, stop doing that, vote for Jordan? All of you that are voting for Patrick McHenry, you are hearing loud and clear that we, the people, do not want that, because there have been a ton of calls that have gone into representatives saying that we wanted Jim Jordan. Put your vote for Jim Jordan. This has been going on for a while. Steve Bannon's War Room, they call it the War Room Posse. They have been putting the numbers up. Matt Gaetz, other people have been putting the numbers up. So that's one way we can get active. That's one way that our voices can be heard. And if the lines are busy, we can send an email. And we have said that 2 years ago when we started this process of being active and what part can we play, what actually can we do? And it's a simple phone call as that, because a lot of them flip their votes for Jordan because they want to be elected again. They want to hold on to their positions. So when we voice our opinions of what we want and their representatives, and if they really care, they're going to listen to us and they're going to change that vote and keep Jordan in there so they can stay in there. And remember, I said a while ago that every single phone call is representative of like 100 people, because most people don't call. We will complain and talk amongst each other, but we don't take the action that the representatives see. They may hear the mumblings, but they think we'll get over it. So if we do take the action and make a phone call to our representatives, know that your single voice, your single call represents 100 different people and their views. So that's how it breaks down and how it works with their the people that run these different campaigns and stuff and that are working for these people. That's how much power you have in a single phone call. So I have a tendency to believe Matt Gaetz. Now, is he perfect? And now is everything he says the truth? Who knows what's the truth anymore? However, he is staying bold and standing strong. He is, to me, reflecting what the voices are saying. Single bills, get Jordan in there. Let's get moving here. And that didn't happen again today. So you ask yourself, in all this time, 17 days out, why we've only had, what was it, 3 votes? Nothing. Then they stop. They keep adjourning. They keep recessing. They keep going behind closed doors to make these wheels and deals. And it is tied to a lot of these omnibus bills and a lot of the different finances and how they want to advocate them and what their plans are. And if you've listened to a lot of these people, on the forefront of their minds, even with Biden's speech last night, the big deal is it is Ukraine and Israel. Nobody's mentioning our borders still being wide open. And I know you guys are tired of hearing this, but this is the truth. When you pull back and you look at it from a big lens, which is what I say we need to do, and with the conversations I had the other evening with people, that's all we're asking. Everybody pull back, look at it at the bigger lens. Don't look at favorites, because if you ask me, Jim Jordan isn't really a favorite either. He's the least likely to offend everybody, and he seems like he's got work mobility, but he's never did the things that some of these people that have more control and have been in these positions have done. So he has his flaws too. But the thing is, with Jordan, he feels like he's workable, like he will try to work through the different kinds of challenges that are facing our representatives. So, but now Jordan's out. So what happened was they did a behind the scenes secret vote today. Okay. And what happened was Jordan lost that secret vote amongst the Republicans. And these are the numbers. 86 people were for Jordan, 112 were against Jordan. So what that means is when they're in front of the cameras and we see what they're doing, they will act like, yes, I'm for Jordan, because they want to be elected. They don't want to face the repercussions from we the people, since we're getting louder and we're challenging this and we're starting to pay attention and we're voicing how we feel. But when they get behind the scenes, that's how many votes he dropped, because he had like 220 or 212, I mean. and then he went down to 210 or something, and then he had 199 today. He only got 86 votes, you guys, in the secret vote today. So there was also an offer made. The 20 or so holdouts that are holding out, according to Gates. Gates came out and said, listen, me and the 8 Republicans, including myself, sent a letter to these holdouts that are dug in that against Jordan, and we agreed and were willing to accept being removed, censored, sanctioned, or suspended to get Jordan in. That they would still vote Republican on issues, but if the holdouts wanted to punish us for taking McCarthy out, we are willing to offer this as a resolution to get Jordan in. Gates said the holdouts seem to just want to punish the 8 for taking McCarthy out because they have no end goals to work with. They have no asks to work with. They have no objectives to work with. So this was the 8's solution that took McCarthy out to keep things moving. This way they could obtain a speaker. But that didn't work out either because now the House, like I said, is adjourned for the weekend until Monday again. So they each have like $174,000 salaries. And once again, their money is being put to hard work by getting another weekend off. Friday, the rest of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Supposedly they are not coming back Monday until 6:30 p.m. What's going to happen then is they're going to hear pitches for candidates. Tuesday, they're supposed to come back and vote in conference for the candidate to put on the floor. And then hopefully, and that's the goal, they didn't make any promises. Again, Patrick McHenry spoke out and said, when they said, are you going to do a floor vote on Tuesday evening, late Tuesday? And he said, that is what we hope for. That's the goal, but that's not a promise. So are they getting this done in 21 days in? I don't know. You know, the way things have been going and the promises that were made and the Jim Jordan presser, that was a nothing ball. I agree with Tracy. I just think that we're just being played on so many levels and it's very frustrating, but we just have to keep our voices heard. And I really believe that there's so much more to play. Hey, Independent Men United. I believe there's so much more at play than a simple vote, you guys. And I'm going to get into the meat of that. Why? Because when you start doing some research and you start paying attention to what's going on behind the scenes and who's tied to who and what finances are tied to what, you'll see why. This is why it is such a hot mess in the House and people can't come to terms, because I believe that it is the uniparty fighting for their final fight. They don't want to lose power and control and finances and everything else. And there's a few of them that are trying to stand true to what they're supposed to do, the oath of office that they took. And that's what the conclusion I've come to over the last few days, and what I've seen going on, and trying to pay 100% attention to this. Now, Patrick McHenry also came out and said, this is what he stated. They need time and space. This is why they adjourned. They need time for a reset. He said Scalise didn't have any time to campaign and Jordan had very little. And now, so he believes they need a rest, right? They need a rest. Even though we got to hurry up and elect somebody and we're not able to do this, they now need a rest, because the American people, shoot, we don't need a rest. We don't need money. We don't need security. We don't need safety. We don't need anything, do we? But our representatives do, because, you know, it's been a tough week or two for them. It's ridiculous. But some of the candidates that are floating around to be possible speaker, to be nominated, are Kevin Hern, Miser, Austin Scott, Arrington. They haven't heard about Emmer yet, the majority whip, and also a possibility that Patrick McHenry may hold on to that temporary seat. Now, this is the reason I bring these names up. Guess what? I've never heard really much about Arrington, Miser, Kevin Hern, Austin Scott. I can't really tell you where they're from. I think I can't really tell you. I would have to look that up. But we do know McCarthy. We do know Jordan. We now know Patrick Henry. So my thing is, why are these random names being floated around? Are they that desperate? Why not put these names out there, which they did, but say why they think, or give us the weekend to process who these people are and what they're doing. Obviously we can do our own footwork on it, but why not give us a little bit of peace and comfort and say, these are the few maybe that we're tossing around. We can't promise anything, but maybe you want to look into these, because they don't care. They just don't care. Also, Newt Gingrich came out and he supported McHenry in this, which was surprising to me, because I think that, they have this guilt thing on us, and we need the House active. We need to get back to work because we are holding funds away from such and such and such and such, and we don't want to shut down. Listen, people, you shouldn't have taken 6 weeks off in August. Maybe you could take a couple weeks off, but maybe you should have worked 4 out of the 6 weeks and, get 2 weeks off instead of taking 6 weeks off. You guys knew this was coming down the pipes. You knew things were shaking up. You knew that there was not bipartisan agreement on much of anything. So where's your leadership? Where is your representation there? So don't make the American people feel bad, because our focus isn't only on Israel. We still expect you to work on our borders and work on the things that we need work on. It is our country. We live here. We're the citizens. We expect you to represent. And don't tell us we are bad because we can't focus on one thing. We can focus on multiple things. Like I said before, the American people are not stupid. We may have gotten lazy and tired for a while, or believed that the government wanted the best interest of us and that most of them in there were okay. But we're finding out who is who. And if you ask me, I love that we're seeing the exposure of everybody and how they feel and what they are represented in. I want that in the forefront, don't you? We want to know and see who these people are and who they truly are. I don't want to be bamboozled by anybody anymore. And don't forget that Independent Men United, we are funding it all. Absolutely 100%. So really, all this chaos and everything that's going on is really based on this $100 billion bill that we keep hearing about. We know that Ukraine is a corrupt place, and why they keep sending all this money, why we're struggling, we're working 2 and 3 jobs, all that kind of stuff. We know the desperation that the average American family is facing, let alone not just finances, jobs, housing, bills. It's about all the different people that are here that are not the best of the best that are here. So we also are fearful, or feeling unsafe, I should say, in a sense, of the goings on that are on our city streets and stuff. So look what happened at the Capitol the other day. We don't feel very confident in our government, let's just say. So you would think, hey, Sharon Mercer, you would think that they would give us some kind of contentment, give us some kind of calm. Let a leader step out and step forward to say, settle down, it's going to be okay. This is what we're working on. We get zero. We get zero of that. So now this is going to bring me to, okay, a lot of this money has been rumored to be, I'm going to say allegedly and stuff, but there's lists out there. And then there's this article that I'm going to read that just came out. But what is happening is a lot of the money is allegedly being washed up and refunneled back into certain people, certain named people, okay? All the money that we've given to Ukraine so far, some of it is being funneled back. It's being washed. And you know what I mean by washed. The smallest amount of money that somebody's received, apparently, of this billions that we've sent to them is $17 million. And that's to Representative Greg Pence. And yes, he is the nephew of Mike Pence. At the top of the tier, the top of the chain, is $92 million that came back to a person, and that's our good guy, Joey. And you know who I mean by Joey. And there's a whole list that's going around, and it lists all of some of these elites and the amounts of multi-millions that they have gotten as part of that billions that was sent. So anyhow, let's read through this article here. Let me see. So we're going to go to this article. It is Gateway Pundit, okay? And it says, this just broke, let me see, late last night, and it says 13 of the 22 holdouts, rhinos, derailing Jordan are connected to FTX and voter mule donations. And guess what? Congressman Steve Scalise took money from Sam Bankman Fried's illegal FTX campaign finance operation, and so did 13 of the 22 of the holdouts. And according to Breitbart, Steve Scalise is the driving force behind the 22 rhinos who have prevented Judiciary Committee Chairman Jordan from the House speakership seat after the 2 round of votes. This came out last night. So, actually, a House GOP aide reported constituents are literally melting the phone lines. Some offices' numbers are permanently busy, which is what I went over, because we we the people, are demanding of members of Congress Jordan for Speaker. But several people are claiming Scalise is orchestrating, allegedly, the holdout that's preventing all of this going on. Now, Debbie Dooley said it was time to remove Scalise from being the majority leader because he's untrustworthy. She said that he is backstabbing, and it's not the first time either. She said Scalise advocated a few weeks ago the cuts to Social Security and Medicare cuts would be on the table for debt reduction. Now, mind you, when they want to reduce and we get upset and they want to reduce spending, Social Security and Medicare cuts are going to be on the table, according to her and what Scalise said. But you know what? They don't care about that because over here, they're still funneling money for these never-ending wars that we're having with all these countries and sticking our nose in and everything else. So she was saying that Scalise was pretending to support Jim Jordan, but he's organizing the ones that refuse to vote for him. And basically, it says, why would Scalise want to undermine the clear choice of the people and President Trump? Evidence unearthed by grassroots researchers in Scalise's home state of Louisiana indicates that Scalise has taken money from the FTX money washing scandal. So basically, the former CEO of FTX, Ryan Salome, it's Salame, pled guilty last month to conspiracy to make unlawful political contributions and defraud the Federal Election Commission and conspiracy to operate an unlicensed money transmitting business. So Salame admitted that his job at FTX was to illegally funnel money to Republican politicians and political causes, while his co-conspirator, Fried, funneled money to Democrats. According to Salam, the donations were to support initiatives supported by Bankman-Fried. Bankman-Fried's dearest initiative appears to be Joe Biden himself, as he made the second largest single donation to his 2020 presidential campaign. Another initiative of Bankman-Fried was Steve Scalise, the man currently preventing Jordan from becoming Speaker, allegedly. Bankman-Fried's straw donor and company CEO, donated $2,900 to Scalise a month before the 2022 midterms, and $2,900 is the maximum donation allowed by an individual. So the other people who accepted these funds, $2,900, and it's a list of them. All of them got $2,900 from this company, and 13 out of the 22 are the holdouts against Jim Jordan. So like I said, you can go to Gateway Pundit or Breitbart and read this article yourself. So therein, that's just another wedge in the wheel of justice that these people are getting these side monies, and there's wheels and deals on the side. Hey, hi Harvest Mary Moon. But yeah, so this is what's going on, you guys. This is some of the stuff that is being exposed, that people are doing research, figuring it out, putting it out there so we can have a better idea of what's really going on with all these votes and stuff. Independent, having a ladies' night Monday night at 10. Oh, yeah, that would be awesome. Independent. Can you email me at tammynation@.com and send me your link? I did not know that you had a channel, but yeah, I'd be more than happy to join you. So if you can just send me your link or just message me at tammynation@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to catch up with you and we can figure it out. Let's get to Kash Patel and what I learned about Kash Patel. Okay. So he was talking today, and let me tell you, none of this stuff is in my wheelhouse at all, and most of us, I mean, most of us, it's not, because this is inside the military industrial complex, and we can know only what they tell us to know, what we may think we know, right? But Cash Patel, behind the scenes, and he's putting it out there just to help educate us and help us learn the process and what's really going on. So Cash Patel had some great insight to all this going on in the House in the fight for speakership. And he said, what we don't know is this. And I'm going to read through this because I don't want to mistalk, misspeak, misquote, give false information. I'm very adamant about giving the accurate information verbatim from the people who said it, and especially when it's not my wheelhouse. So here we go. He said the military industrial complex has many year deals for tons of money in the omnibus bills. Basically, these defense contractors have made deals in 3 to 4 big deals that reps have set to present down the road. So all this hemming and hawing is not just about this big bill that's going to come to the floor through Biden. He said there's very many bills, 3 or 4 of them laid out in advance by representative, promises made to these contractors that they have lined up ready to go, shipped and to go. And that's what the problem is. If they lose power and control, they lose all this, right? And that's tons and tons of money. He said that basically these bills are not done year to year, but years ahead and years out. So these bills can last 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. It's not year to year. He said, so when they talk about cutting the spending, no one wants to vote on that because it will take away a lot of high paying jobs, and no one is going to vote for that. So this is what some of these unipartiers in the House are fighting hard not to lose control of and get the speaker they want to keep all this in play, because it's tons of money, tons of deals. It's all about power and control. Cash stated that you can just add a line into one of these bills and it can become a whole new program, because there is no cap and no limits on these bills. And I had said that yesterday. And that's what I'm learning, that even though they're so big and we can't understand, and, even the representatives say they're this thick, and not everybody can read through them and understand all of it and get through it before they take a vote on it. And why is that way? It's intentionally, to me, structured so we are left in the dark. So they pull on our heartstrings about, yeah, we need to send money here. Yeah, okay, it's good. There's border money in here. And this omnibus bill that I'm talking about that's coming down, basically the money that's in for the border, I thought it was to protect the border, build wall, something. But basically the border money is simply so they can process the people coming in quicker. So it's not about our protection. It's actually to help exacerbate people coming in quicker. Like they aren't coming in quick enough. So they're going to put money towards that to allow them to process them even quicker. Does that make you feel happy or safe to know money's going in a bill for that, for them to vote on? It doesn't me. We don't want more people here. We've got the other people, Omar and Rashid Tlaib wanting us to house 1 million Gaza refugees on top of it all. So, like I said, it gets very frustrating when you start digging deep into this and stuff. It's ridiculous. Cash also said not only can you add a line to these bills to create a whole new program, which would be tons and tons of money added to it to inflate it. He said that if there's something in a bill and you're offering somebody or someone for something $10 million and they don't agree on it, you can actually make it 40 billion or 40 million, that you can raise the price, you can play with the price, that there is no cap and no limit on it. And that's what it means for us. So what we think that they're voting on and they pass, if we agree with it and we're happy with it, we forget about it. Really, they can tweak it and they can do what they need to do with it. And I did not know that. And he said that's what we don't realize and that we need to know. That's why so many that are on the up and up and legit don't want these big, huge bills. So Cash also stated that, thank you, Harvest Mary Moon. When Cash came in as chief of staff of the DOD during Trump's administration, he said the first thing that he did was asked to speak with 4 of the top CEOs of these defense contractors. And he was told that they will not give you the time of day, that you are basically beneath them. There's certain other people that they will only deal with, people of power. However, he persisted, and he said he did receive back 3 out of 4 phone calls because they didn't want to deal with Trump. They knew that Trump was gonna do what he needed to do to get all this settled, expose it, limit the funds, break it down, whatever he needed to do. So he said 3 of them did return phone calls, and he said in the 90 days with Trump, him and Trump ended 3 of the never-ending wars because they realized that Trump wasn't messing around. So I thought that was pretty impressive because he said he's never told that story before, and I like that. And obviously, we know with Biden, it's a whole nother story. Basically, it's a free-for-all, tons of funding. Whoever needs money but us, you're free to get as much as you need. We'll keep helping you out. We need to support you because, like Biden said last night, we cannot back out. We cannot quit because we're fighting for democracy. So Kash Patel also stated about the intelligence decisions for the Biden administration. And you guys, I've covered a couple of the people that were very questionable and to be found out that were in the Biden administration, that were not pro-U.S., that were acting upon U.S. and the decisions in the White House and in his administration, but they weren't pro-us. So now he was talking about today, basically the head of intelligence programs and all decisions that are making as far as intelligence gathering and all that, who decides, this person who decides to take attention or put attention to the border, the terrorists, China, Iran, is a man named Mahar Bhattar. And he said he is the one that's solely in charge of collecting intelligence and also for tiers 1, 2, 3, and 4 for Biden, which means basically he's the person in charge of all the decisions of where intelligence gets collected, where it goes, what's the priority, what's not. So all tiers for Biden. And he said, why is his name important? And he says his name is important, and remember his name. Hey, Garrett, he said, remember his name because he was just caught in a photo recently wearing Palestinian garb, raising a hand behind a picture stating, we want Jewish apartheid. He said, this is the guy and head of intelligence operations for the United States of America. Then he brought up Robert Malley, who I talked about a little while ago. But Robert Malley, he's the Biden's #1 envoy, the one who is supposed to be keeping us out of war in Iran, and his security clearance has been suspended by Chris Wray's FBI 2 months ago. And you have to ask yourself why. Why was Robert Malley's security clearance suspended? And Kash said they won't publicly release that either. And he said, I will tell you why. Because, and this goes down another road, this lady named Ariane Tabatabai, installed by Robert Malley, is a senior official in the Defense Department's Special Ops Office and was recently outed. She was identified last month by Semaphore as a member of the Iran Expert Initiative, an Iranian government propaganda network run by Tehran's foreign ministry and tasked with advancing the Islamic Republic's interest among policymakers in D.C. So basically, this lady was installed by Malley, who were not getting any reason why his security clearance was suspended a couple months ago. He installed her, but she's working for Islamic Republic's interest among policymakers in D.C. So she's working for us, but really working for them. So this is 3 or 4 people and their names that have come to the forefront in his administration that basically it's like, how infiltrated is this government that we have, our U.S. government? How infiltrated is it? Because it seems like it is awfully on every different level. Security, intelligence, oh my gosh. She said, or Kash Patel said, we have to find out why Robert Malley got booted, which had something to do with this Ariane lady. He said, but these people have been installed in Biden's administration. It's not like they were randomly picked and stuff. They were intentionally installed. We have to find out why some are still there, why some have been suspended, why some have security clearance suspended but are still there as well. So it's crazy. Laura Logan also stated, "This is the most outrageous national security breach imaginable, and yet here we hear nothing from the Republican-controlled House, nothing except whining about who is going to be Speaker." So she's upset because they're whining at each other, verbal darts tossing back and forth, but no border mentioning. No, we need to pull together to secure our border. No, we need to secure our government. What's going on inside of this administration? We need to find out. But we need to get this omnibus bill done. And you can look back at all the different speeches that have been given or comments from McCarthy, from Jordan himself, from Scalise, from Biden. Some of these people that are on the forefront of all this going on in the House, and every single one of them talk about Israel and Ukraine. They don't talk about us. They don't talk about us at all. So that's the simplistic factor that you can go to with a friend or a family member or somebody you have a conversation with and say, hey, why don't you look at this and this and this and see what they have to say? See if you think that they have our best interest at heart. Do you think that Ukraine and Israel should be on the forefront of our minds? Do you think giving more and more money to these people is important, or should we be worrying about our own country and our own people? And I say that because the people that don't follow this, like some of us are following it, who say, well, government's going to be government, things are going to just be the way they are, it's how it's always been, we just need to get used to it. Those are the people that if you just give them something simple like what I just said, will maybe pay attention or start to investigate, or maybe it'll just trigger something in them, and just ask them, well, why do you think that is? Why do you think that they don't care that the sanctuary cities are running out of space and being able to take care of these people, but they didn't close the borders? And why do you think they want to keep sending this money to these other two places, but they aren't worried about us here? And like I said, it's a very simplistic way just to break into a conversation, and I think that's a good idea. Lastly, and I want to end this on a positive note because I promised you guys at the beginning that I would, Sarah Huckabee. So Sarah Huckabee gave a presser 2 days ago, and this is good news. She was stating that Arkansas is the first state in the nation to force a Chinese-owned company to give up its American land. Syngenta owns 360 acres in northeast Arkansas, primarily uses the land as seed research. She said the company that owns Sargent's is Kim China, is also on the Department of Defense's list of Chinese military companies posing a clear threat to our state. So first of all, why is they are on the Department of Defense list as a threat to that state, yet they own land there and nobody was doing anything about it? Is that crazy? It's crazy, right? It makes no sense. Well, she said that they use the research and technology and they send it back to their homeland, stealing Americans' research, telling their enemies or our enemies how to target American farms. And she said that is a clear threat to our farmers and our farmland. So she said it's not about where you are from, but where your loyalties lie. So she signed an act banning Chinese and Russian drones as well, and another banning contracts with the CCP. She said if these people refuse to sell, the Attorney General will take action and force them out of their state. And I say, awesome work, Sarah. I think that's amazing. And I had no clue that was going on in Arkansas. Did you guys? We know that we said that there's people that own a lot of land around here that in our country that shouldn't own it. But I had no idea that there was 360 acres in Arkansas that was owned by a Chinese company that is on our DOD's threatened list of the state. That's kind of crazy. So Sarah did that. The other thing that Sarah did as well, she took a stand against the woke nonsense going on, and she had some pretty strong words with this. Nonsense was one of the kinder ones, but she said, what started out as a fad with a few grad students has leaked down into our corporations, the healthcare industry, and increasingly state government. It is demeaning to women, and it needs to stop. Signing an executive order, she banned all sorts of ridiculous words from state government documents, words like pregnant people, laboring person, birth giver. She said some on the left will accuse us of being nitpicky, that Arkansas should lay down and accept the Cultural Revolution without complaint. She said, I say it's the exact opposite. It is the left who decided that woman is a dirty word. It is the left who decided we toss out basic biology and basic grammar along with it. I think they are just mad because the conservatives are fighting back. And she said, they better get ready because we are just getting started. So, amen to that for Sarah Huckabee taking on the land in her state and taking on, she said, the woke nonsense. And she, that's very telling as well. As she said, it started as a fad with a few grad students as it's trickled down into everything, including state government. And we've seen that. We've seen the increase. We've seen how we are told that we are not accepting and we are wrong. However, she is right. Women to wipe out women and wipe out men is absolutely nonsense and ridiculous. And who's going to have the babies? Who's going to have the babies and keep the human race going? I think that she was very clear and very succinct. And I got to commend Sarah Huckabee for leading the way in the state of Arkansas. And I hope other people will follow, other governors and other leaders will follow and say, you know what, we're not taking out basic biology. We are not going to accept that being a woman or a man is a dirty word, and that we have to accept everything that this wokeness has brought forth to this country, which is weakening it. It's not strengthening it. We need men and women, clear mind thinking men and women to get this country back. Because if people are confused at what pronouns that they want to be called, what sex they are, I don't believe some of them, I will not say all, have the mental capacity to want to fight for this country and keep it strong and keep morals and values together. It's the complete opposite. I believe that we need to get back to our roots, God first, family, country. We have morals, values, class, dignity, and we be able to have conversations and not worry about being sensitive on hurting people's feelings and that we're the bad people because we like the idea of a manly man and a womanly woman. We should not feel like we are bad people for that. And that is what has been garnering all the attention out there in this woke movement that has trickled through, like Sarah Huckabee Sanders says, from corporations to government, to schools, to our children, to our children's things, cartoons that they watch on TV, the things that they bring into that. They should not be exposed to that. If a boy wants to be a boy and a girl wants to be a girl, they need to figure that out. They are allowed to do that. We do not need to incorporate all this wokeness into our schools at such a small level, the elementary schools and the middle school levels. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I won't get down that path because I'll get going for another hour on that stuff. But that's what I have for you guys this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I will probably be back tomorrow or Sunday to do a morning devotion because I haven't been able to do one of those between work and covering all this. It's been time consuming, but I really miss the devotions. The devotions do keep me grounded, and I hope they help you stay grounded as well, because without God, we're not going to be able to do much of anything. And that is my belief. That is my faith, that He is the one that grounds us, centers us, and helps us see the beauty inside the mess that we're in at all times, no matter what that is. If it's something personal going on or something going on in this country, God grounds us. God brings beauty out of the ashes, and we all will rise out of the ashes of what this is. We will get America back. We will put God first again, family and country. I believe it. I believe there's so many fighters out there. There's so many good people, including those of you watching or listening that will do it now or catch this later. I just believe in the American spirit. I always have, and I always will. So with that, God bless. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much again for joining me. Have a blessed weekend, and maybe I'll catch you on morning devotions. Okay, take care.